Hey everybody, welcome to episode 26. We left off, I was doing a little exploration of how many days it took for them to get back to normal. So that's some really interesting data. This morning I just refactored the helper preparing the data function analysis a little bit to clean it up. And now I'm going to prepare the data for this chart the right way. So I think that's what I'm going to start on today. And I'm starting by slacking. All right, so with it. So in the prepare web, basically all I've done is separated out the perspective chart. So now it doesn't actually have all the page view data. It just has what we need, because on the first chart, I'm only showing like about 100 days prior. So don't need to include all the page views. So it'll be a way smaller file. So the next thing we want to do is prepare the data for the, I think I'm calling it the care chart. So it's going to be daily data until daily page views until less than 2 standard deviations. I think I'm going to try daily on this because I want to end up binning it by week. Like the histogram style thing. So let's see how this goes. Const care data. Basically, you're going to do the same thing, but not really, actually. Let me get page views by bin 1. We want to grab all of them. I mean, I guess this is a better way than having to write a new function. Because this is the death index, so obviously we only have a possibility of like 1,000 in each direction, so this is safe. So it's going to return all the page views. So this is actually, and so that's all the page views. Let's see. But we want to keep them. So we want to keep them, but only if they pass. Let's see. Oh, actually, no, what we don't want. We want to start at 0. Actually, we want to start at 1, right? Because this is actually day after death. And then we want to filter this. Okay, so this is a page. This is a day, I suppose. We'll call it a view. Okay. We want to filter this by the standard deviations which exist in person. So if we look at people details, we want to look for the standard deviation. We have these in here somewhere. Yep. So we have the standard deviation, but we want for 1 day, and we'll compare it to mean views adjusted before death. That's the thing. So let's make sure to actually, let's see how this filters. Okay, so we haven't cleaned the data, so it's all in string format, so we have to remember that. So I'm gonna actually, I have this code written already here. Kind of. It's actually d dot views adjusted is less than person dot mean views adjusted, and I'm using before death and after death. Plus person dot std1 times 2. Order of operations are preserved. Okay. So that should do the trick, because we actually want to preserve these individual page view values rather than rolling it up to a single value in case I want to do something with more details like a heat map or something. Sorry, got into thing again. So that's Slack. All right, so let's see. See if this works. It worked. Error. Put out a file, and we got nothing. That's not helpful. Oops, that needs to be well, let's first make sure that this is working before we add on this extra filter. Okay, so this should be all the datas. And it looks good. It's only positive numbers here, right? Which is the day after. And actually, I just thought about it. We want to start 2 days after. So I actually want to keep the 48 hours thing. Anyways, so that was working. The filter though. Use adjusted definitely exists. Oh, damn. That's a million. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's fine. Mean views adjusted. Oh, I forgot the underscore one. It is. I think. Hey, sweet. Okay. Actually, I think about it, I probably want to keep the one. I'm not sure if I want to keep the day after, let's say. Because this way we don't have the actual day it crosses over. So like, let's see when this one crosses over. Oh, oops, it's backwards. So this is actually only doing things that do cross over. So I actually don't want to do a filter here. Let's see. We grab the page view, so this is actually going to be a little more involved. And then let's go back to, we already did this, so. Oops. We actually just care about the index of the first occurrence. So after dot find b dot views adjusted. Oops. B dot views adjusted. When does it become less? Yep. Okay. So let's see. So there might not be a match, right? So we need to account for that. So we actually might need to add another field to here. So let's see. Let's equal match. Okay, so now we're going to filter. Oh, it's filtered. And we're going to include the last one. Okay. Are we good here? I suppose I could add a field if I could do that. So um, no, I'll just actually be able to know because if it hits the last date, because we have the date stamps. So yeah, I'll be able to do that there. Thank you. Let's do this. Uh, Sweet. Okay. Let's see if this is right. So we should see it drop off. Oh, this is a long one. Holy moly. I don't think that's right. Unless that's one that never returned, which is possible. Well, first, let's see how long this is. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, shoot. Okay. Here's adjusted. Did I do it again and forgot the underscore one? Look at this. This is all over the place. Okay, Jesus. Underscore one. Oh, okay. I might as well log those out still though. That should just be a single number. $5,000 makes way more sense than 40,000. So let's look at someone like, I don't remember Prince's ID. Sorry. Okay. Don't even remember what I was doing. Okay. But this looks pretty good. They all start at 2, which is right. And like this one goes to 30, 42, 87, 21, 14. Okay. Then let's see, like this one, 5,000. Is that the person's ID? Shit, I forgot. Well, we'll definitely be able to take a look on the front end, but I think this looks pretty solid. All right. All right, let me just run make copy data. Tweak. Okay, now let's jump over to the here and change some of the variable names. So we're gonna have to do a little. Oh, interesting. I don't know how that stuff got in there still. I don't think I need any of that anymore. Here. Okay. Okay. So first, let's refix the first one because some of the variables changed there. Let's take a look at clean data. I think I got rid of most of these. Views adjusted. All right, so all the befores now, right, are E. Actually, I think I changed this one. X. That's what I called it. And this is all suffixed with 1. Or sorry, I'm using 2, bin 2. Have all the other ones in there, but this. Actually, I don't even need that anymore. I might, but I'm using 1 for these. Okay. I'm sure this is gonna go swimmingly. All right, so let's change all of these adjusted. Actually, 2. Let's just run it and see what we get errors. That's always my favorite thing to do. All right, well, let's look at the data first. All right, so we have 82 people now. Let me just make a note of that. Okay, we've got death views 2. Death views adjusted. Ooh, what's that? Oh yeah, that makes sense. IQR1. Mean view suggested before death. How about yep, that makes sense. That seems fine. And then people data, this is people data, page view data. That all looks good. Uh-huh. The place where you use it as a 2 should be coming from that, yeah, which makes sense. Maybe I can't move that. Let's see if we still get errors. No step elements. Nice. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Change this. Let's go to the CSS. Okay, looks like it's working again. Cross my fingers. Each data looks the same, which is always a good thing. Oh, so close. But so far. Let me look at get scale R. Oh, max views adjusted isn't a thing, right? It's death views adjusted. That's it. Thank goodness. Okay. So, what to do next? Well, we can comment. So let's let's go ahead and traffic. Start working on the care graphic. Finalmente. Though, actually don't have to do any of this now, right? Because now we just have to load in people and care. Temp people data, clean data, page view data. Yeah, that should be right. Yeah, that should be right. Okay. Let's go to setup chart. So all these calculations are unnecessary now. Just go ahead and console.log people. Data, and actually, let's go ahead and respect to logging into data, so I don't need to do that. We already have all that done. I suppose we need to add this, but that's not something that we have to count. We just have to, well, we'll take a look. Start with this. Okay, so let's go to someone like Prince, where we know the data pretty intimately. And if we look at his page views, there's 51. It took him 51 days before he dipped back below. Bin index should be 2, yep. So let's say views adjusted were 2 million, which is obviously, so And we look at his mean views adjusted before death. Oh shoot, we're not using 2 here. Let's also make that in the clean data a number. Not sure. I don't know if I'll need that one. Maybe will. Okay. Well, anyways, mean views, it makes sense that this is about half because this is 1 day bins, this is 2 day bins. So we're looking for 9,600, and the standard deviation at 1 is about 4,000. So basically, we're looking for it to return below 20,000-ish. So if we look at those page views, these are now the filtered page views. Remember, so let's say this one should be above 20,000. Views adjusted, or okay, 19,000. That's probably right around it. So this one is probably just below that. 17. So that was obviously below that threshold. So this one counts as when it crossed back over. So we could add let's synthesize this. So we'll want to nest the data, I suppose. All right. So let's see. First, we can calculate. Let's see where we do this here. So we can add that, right? We can say days till norm, and it's simply page views length. That's inclusive, so it's saying that is the day. So I guess that kind of makes sense. But these are so probably we need to. Oh. And then we can just again say weeks. That would be yeah. Extra information. So now when we call setup, oh shoot, I'm in the wrong file. And when we call setup chart, we should have that additional information, so it'll be much quicker to bin. So days until norm 58. Weeks until norm 8 weeks. Let's see, does that make sense? 58 divided by thus. Cool. So I guess the next step is in setup chart. So this is not going to be a filtering, updating data chart, right? So just bind the data once, and then all the resides will have all the data in it. So it'll be pretty straightforward. So const nested, t3.nest.entries, data key, and let's key it now. key it around weeks until norm. Let's take a look at our data. Okay, this seems to add up. So 0 weeks, less than a week, basically only 5 people. So that means most people lasted a week. It looks like the biggest one is 22, which is 1 to 2 weeks. 3 has 11. Oh, sorry, 2 has 13. So it actually looks like a nice steady drop off, which totally makes sense. Oh. All right, so the first chart I really want to try actually is something like this, which is pretty straightforward, right? It's like a table, it's like a histogram of names. So I'm gonna go for something like that. So basically each of the, so this is all gonna be, I guess it should be, I wonder if technically be a list. Yeah, we'll find out. So let's see. But the fast thing actually I forgot is 107 weeks. So where are the people like, oh, the problem is there's a few people that don't return to norm that are in here. So like someone like Anthony Bourdain, I remember, let's say how many weeks. He's going to be around like, oh, you got it, right. The way I'm going to be able to tell, and I need to make this happen, is if, let's see. So that's 34. I'm wondering if there's an easy way to tell. Well, I could just look at the timestamp because I know the last timestamp in our data set is 7/12, which is yesterday. I'm wondering if I can actually just look at bin death index because it should never be more than. No, that's probably the easiest way. Actually, just go by date. So I need to just store this last date, which I will need to update. So I'll have to make as a reminder. So const last timestamp equals 7/12. Probably bake this in somewhere into the data, but it seems like overkill. So I'll just make an issue that before I publish to make sure that's good. Care. So we don't want to, we want weeks until norm to be null for that. So let's see. All right, we should see some null ones now. Actually, why don't I just pass pages? Sweet, there's a couple nulls. That's great. So these are people that never actually have returned back to null yet, which is what we're looking for. There'll be a special section at the bottom. All right, so first things first. A couple things I want to do here to tidy this up. Well, first, let me see. Let's look at the max. We've got a huge, so 9, no 10, 11, 12, and then a 47 and a 20. So I think I'm going to basically combine everybody after everybody after 12 will be grouped. So the 20, 47, and 20 and 47 and then null. Okay. So that's something I'm gonna have to do. Week equals, actually not gonna do it here. I'm gonna keep this raw. So, all right, we've got them nested. Now let's kind of clean it up a bit. So d.weeks until norm. So we're going to have a few different, some dynamic keys here. Okay, so basically if it's over, so let's say const max weeks equals, we're going to go with, or no, we're going to go with 12 and let's put it up there. So weeks is less than max weeks. Otherwise, we're going to technically call it plus. We'll just call it 20, and then I'll deal with the labeling later. So let's actually do something if weeks until norm, because we have some nulls in here, right? And weeks and weeks, these variables, so we can. And otherwise, it's going to return actually. Yeah. And if it's this, we'll actually just call this one, we'll keep it numerical. You know, the key values should still be null. And now it's log nested. And actually, let's sort it. Years are gonna be, well, we'll see here actually in a second. Sweet. Okay. Thought we had a 0 in there, but maybe I was mistaken. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No 10, 11, 12. Oh, we called those 13. That's weird. I guess that doesn't work. E dot. Week. All right. If week. Okay. Shit, why is it still 13? Oh, shoot, I had it right all along. That totally worked fine. Whatever. Max weeks is 12. Wait, max weeks should actually be 13. Well, no, 12. We want it to be inclusive in our. So 12 is allowed. So if it's null, it returns actually +2 +1. All right, so we should see 12, 13, 14. 14. Well, in theory, it was all the nulls. I should double check that that's right. These should all say. Oh, because no, their week was 0. Shoot, I forgot. That's a number. I'm not going to deal with null. I'll deal with I don't think is null is nan. Is, so if not week and week is not equal to 0. Yeah, there we go. Now we have that 0 back. Also, the interesting thing is we're missing a 10 here, but we want that to be represented, I think. So we're going to have to do const r equals d3 dot range max weeks plus 2 dot map. Const match equals nested dot find key dot key is equal to I. And if it has a match, we'll see what happens here. Basically, we wanted to make sure 10 exists, but actually everything is a string. So that's stupid. Let's make everything. Actually, don't need to sort now. But let's map over and just return key. Everything's a number. Look at that. That's great. Oh, we lost 14. All right. Oh, because it's not inclusive of d3.range. Okay, 13 should have those 2 that are super high. Yeah. Everything else is normal. This is perfect. Okay. I'm going to call that for now, and then the next step when we get back will actually be to viz it. Peace.